Hey everybody, it's Josie here, and today I am excited because my iMac 2020 has finally arrived. And so we're going to unbox this today and get it set up and tell you exactly which model I end up getting and along with the reason why and just a little bit of the features of this iMac 2020. Also, this is my very first iMac, so I am super excited right now. I've had a MacBook Pro since 2010, so a decade ago, about maybe like 3-4 years ago. I updated it, I put an SSD drive in there, and I upgraded the memory, the RAM. I upgraded the RAM to, I think the max that 2010 could go was 8 gigs, so that's what I put it at. So it did give it a little bit new life, but then within like the last year it has been horrible. It's been horribly slow. Since I've been doing a lot more video and a lot more photo, it has not been very good to me. So yeah, I had to spend the money. Anybody knows me knows I'm not really huge on spending money that I don't really want to spend, but I had to. In order for me to be efficient at my job and what I'm doing, I had to upgrade it, and I figured I'd go ahead with this iMac 2020. So let's get this thing unboxed, and then we'll get a little bit into more about the details. So as everybody has mentioned, this thing is massive. It's huge, came in a big box, and I'm trying to drop it. So I was trying to figure out which way this thing is opening. Also, here it is, my new iMac 2020. This thing was released a couple of weeks ago. And let's get into it. So they have this quick, easy pull thing here. Ooh, that felt kind of good. Maybe I should lay this thing down. Ugh. All right, this thing is massive. All right, let's get it out the box, figure out how to do that safely. All right. Let the box drop. No going back now, it's out of the box. All right, I guess this is, my keyboard. That seems to be it. All right, it's all out, no buyer's remorse now. So I finally got my Mac out of the box and up on the desk and about to put it together. It's saying It's saying that I need to connect the mouse, but I actually didn't get the magic mouse. I got the trackpad. So let's try and figure out where that is. It might just actually be in here with the keyboard. If not, they might have forgotten to send it to me. So let's hope that's not the case. That seems a little bit too flimsy to be a trackpad. Ah, here we go. Trackpad. All right, so figure out how we do this. Ah, we got activity. We got some activity. Alright, yes, I am in Canada. Doesn't seem to really like my Wi-Fi password. At least it's taken quite some time to connect. Maybe I entered the wrong one. Quite possible. So I've already unboxed my iMac. As you can see, it is sitting right here and looking nice and beautiful. But I didn't get to tell you guys what I got, so what type of upgrades I ended up getting. And I didn't really get to tell you too much about my story a little bit. So I'm gonna get into that today. As you can see, it is now light outside. It's bright. Yesterday, early in this video, it was dark. But yeah, we're just gonna continue and roll this all as one video. So what I ended up getting was a 27 iMac 2020, the newest version. And I ended up getting, I'm going to open it up here on the computer just to make it a little bit easier for you guys to see and for me to read. Let's go to apple.ca. And since I am in Canada, that's where I'm gonna go. All right, so just a little preface. So I am a photographer and I also do video. My main bread and butter is photography. That's what I started with. That's how I got into this whole type of industry. So I've been a photographer now professionally for 5 years, going on 6 pretty soon. But I also, over the last year and a half, been getting more into video. So the computer that I got, I couldn't get the base model or even the higher tier model, but I had to do some upgrades because of both photography and videography that I do. So I ended up getting the 3.8, I ended up getting the third model, so I didn't go with the base model. But I ended up getting the third model, which is the 3.8 gigahertz 8-core processor with turbo boost, which goes up to 5.0 gigahertz, and it comes standard with 512 gigs of storage and Retina 5K display. So let's go into seeing what I upgraded and what I ended up getting in the end. It comes standard with the 3.8 gigahertz 8-core 10th generation Intel processor i7, and it comes with 8 gigs of RAM and the Radeon Pro 550 XT with 8 gigabits of memory. And this model here comes standard with 512 SSD drive storage. It comes with a gigabit Ethernet and Magic Mouse, Magic Keyboard. So as I mentioned earlier, this new iMac 2020 does come with the ability to upgrade to the nano texture glass. I didn't spring for that. For me, that's an extra $625 with already at my budget and what I was doing. I didn't want to spend an extra $625 on anti-glare. For some people, it is really a big thing and it really helps them, but I don't think for me it's going to be as important for my desk and where I set up. And if I need to, I can kind of block the light out. And so I didn't go for the nano texture glass. I also did not upgrade to the i9 processor. I stuck with the i7 processor. For what I do, I already thought that the i7 was good enough. If it was the i5, then yes, I would have upgraded to the i7, but this one comes standard at the i7, so no need for further upgrades for me. And it comes with 8 cores. 8 cores is pretty good for what I needed, so I stuck with the standard on this. I did not upgrade my RAM because, as we all know, with the 27-inch, it does have that door at the back where you can upgrade the RAM yourself. So I will be upgrading to probably 32, depending. Maybe I might go to 64, but more than likely I'm going to go to 32 gigs for RAM. So what I did upgrade though was the graphics, my GPU. It comes with the standard 5500 XT, and I upgraded to the 5700 XT, which also gives 16 gigabytes of memory. And that was just because I do a lot more video now, and working with Premiere Pro, mostly now that I have a better Mac, I probably will be testing out Final Cut on my old 2010 MacBook Pro. I could not put Final Cut on there, it just wouldn't handle it, so I just didn't even try. But yeah, so now I'm doing a lot more editing, video editing. So for me, I thought the GPU was a good upgrade for what I do to help with exporting and for rendering and all that type of stuff. So for me, I thought this was a good upgrade, and it was worth, in this case, it was a $625 upgrade. For me, I thought it was a good one. It didn't make sense to me to go to the 5700, so I just went straight for the best one that they had here. And what I also did upgrade was my storage. It comes with 512 gigabytes of storage, and I went to 1 terabyte of storage. And to me, I did that because I just thought that it would be important to have this extra space of storage. Even though I don't really save a lot of stuff onto my desktop, even when I had my MacBook Pro, I didn't save most stuff on there. I use external drives, but now that I'm going to be working on here, it's good to even have the space to be able to work, even if I don't save things or keep things on the iMac. It's good to have that storage where I can work on them, and when I'm done with them, I can transfer them off to keep and store on somewhere else. But I want to be, because again, I have such speed with this iMac, I want to be able to utilize all of that speed and not have to work off of external drives, because at this time all my external drives are not SSD, so again, it would slow down the whole process. So for me, it makes sense to do most of my editing, everything on the iMac, and then afterwards, when I'm done with the project, move it off and store it externally. So I went with the higher storage just so that it can keep all the programs that I'm going to have, and also have my cloud storage. A lot of things that I have on the cloud, which connects to my MacBook and connects to my phone and everywhere. I like to have that storage, which right now I think is near 80-90 gigabytes, which is close to the 100 gigabyte max that I have. But if I got a 512 and I went up to my max on that, that's already a whole 100 gigs taken away just for cloud storage. And I just basically, I wanted the space. I wanted to, if I'm using this computer, which for me, I know we're moving away from Intel processing and they're going to Mac Silicon, and that's probably coming in the next year or two. But I'm probably gonna have this Mac for probably the next 3, 4, maybe 5 years. I have my MacBook Pro for 10 years. So I wanna be able to have the option of having the storage. And again, because I can't pull this beautiful piece of machine apart like I could pull my MacBook apart, I'm not going to be doing no upgrades on it now that I have it. So I wanted to make sure that I had that in there and I wouldn't have no problems in the future. I didn't go ahead and get the 10 gigabyte Ethernet because at this point I don't use a RAID system. I know that's probably where I'm going to be going maybe in the next couple years. Probably by the next time I get my next computer, I'll probably have a RAID system. But right now I just use external drives to keep all my stuff on, so I didn't get the 10 gigabyte Ethernet, but I didn't get the Magic Mouse. I upgraded that and I got the trackpad. For me, as you can already see me using, the trackpad here. For me, it made sense to get the trackpad. I love the trackpad on my MacBook Pro, and I didn't really use the mouse. I only used the mouse when I was editing, but for my everyday viewing, surfing, whatever the case was, it was just so easy to use the trackpad. So I went ahead and got the trackpad again because, again, it's just so much easier for me. So that's what I ended up getting. So yes, this is a piece of expensive tech right here, but for what I do, I felt it was worth getting it because not only do I do photo editing, but I also do video editing. So the CPU and the GPU was important to me to ensure that I'm going to just cut the lag out of my processing, especially with video. My MacBook Pro, it was so horrible at this point. It's 10 years old, but it was just so slow, and I didn't want to have to come and spend a lot of money on another computer and to still have lagging problems. So yes, I did spring a little bit more just to ensure that I would not have those problems with video editing. So this is what I ended up getting, and yeah. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys all again. I will see you in the next one. Peace.